This is Howard Chaykin, and my feeling is, if you ask me, I could write a book about the way you walk and whisper and look. What am I selling?
11 o'clock comics.
11 o'clock comics is the place to be and the time to be there.
Now you mess with
us. I recorded it days ago. You didn't hear the tape recorder click.
It's a digital, right? So it wouldn't be tape.
Right. I was trying to go old school for you, man. Keep it analog.
Yeah. I don't know. You've mastered the woohoo. There's no more left to teach you. You on your own. From here on out, Jason and I, they grow so fast. It only took
all grown up.
17 years.
Right?
It's, when you try and wrap your head around it, it's a long time we've been doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think? It's almost 2 decades, bro.
I know. But it doesn't seem like a job.
Depends on the day.
Yeah. Depends on what Marvel published that week, but yeah.
It doesn't. It does not.
Most of the time it does not. That's true.
And it really, you could think back on it and realize how many years have gone by, but it really doesn't feel that long to me.
No, it doesn't. It does not at all. When Jason said, it's been a year since I started at the crossing, I'm like, no, it hasn't.
Yes,
yes, it has.
Yeah, I know, man.
Yes, it has.
He saw you once last year. Yeah, he saw you once last year, and I think the last time we saw you was at the wedding. The last time the three of us were together.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. That seems like yesterday to me. And Nachi's got a kid, a little one, and hopefully more on the way. It's nuts. But this is 11 o'clock comics, 10:32. And I am Vince B.
You are Vince B. This is 10:32, and I am David A. Price.
Of course, that's true, and I'm Rick Springfield.
Oh, good Lord.
Wow. I actually like Rick Springfield.
Yeah, what's not to like?
Yeah, his albums are increasingly better. Like the early ones, so they were okay, but the later ones, oh my God, they're so good. You could be Rick Springfield, but you're not.
It.
You're Jason Wood, everybody. Brought to you by cheapgraphicnovels.com. cheapgraphicnovels.com. Who wants to pay retail? Nobody. Shelf hands? None. I don't see any. Even in the cheap seats, they're not representing it. Why? Because people don't want to pay the retail price. Comics are expensive. Not at cheapgraphicnovels.com. No way. Because you can get your OGNs, your collected editions, your omnibus editions, your finest Marvel Epic collections, your manga at drastically reduced prices. If that wasn't enough, they have specials as well. Nick and Dent, which, as we always say, is neither Nick nor dented, but they got to call it something. So, They do that. Max also runs the occasional sale, but there are specials as well. He handpicks a list of specials. Dave's going to tell you about them.
They include DC Finest, The Joker, The Last Ha Ha trade paperback for $23.99. Where there's madness in Gotham, there's only one name behind it. Across decades of chaos, this collection assembles a gallery of Joker tales that show why he remains DC's most compelling villain. Whether he's hosting a deadly birthday party, trademarking a fish, standing trial for Batman's murder, or disappearing into global shadows post-Infinite Frontier, the Clown Prince of Crime commands attention in every panel. Collects stories published between December 1969 and September 1981 from Batman, Brave and the Bold, Detective Comics, the 10 issues of The Joker, Justice League of America, and backup tales from Wonder Woman. Nocturnals, the Sinister Path trade paperback for $13.99. While the town sleeps, evil rises. A war is being fought for the soul of Pacific City. It's a war fought by monsters, both human and supernatural. But luckily, some of the monsters are on our side. The Nocturnals, a band of misfit vigilantes led by Doc Horror, his supernaturally gifted daughter Evening, a.k.a. Halloween Girl, and an armed revenant known as the Gun Witch, are all that stand against the eldritch criminal underworld of Pacific City. The death of the mysterious Judge Hemlock opens a macabre power vacuum in the eldritch underworld, but when the Nocturnals investigate the occult enshrouded Hemlock house, what they find will lead them down a twisted and deadly sinister path. This collects the 4-issue, exquisitely hand-painted tale from Dan Brereton's Eisner-nominated supernatural noir comic series. And Reincarnation Stories trade paperback for $22.49. Legendary underground cartoonist Kim Deitch's magnum opus, A Sprawling Odyssey of Reincarnation, now in a new paperback edition. Sitting on a bench one day, 4-year-old Kim Deitch is accosted by an elderly man. Flask in hand, the man exclaims, "Is it possible? Sid? Sid Pincus? Good God, man, you've changed." A light bulb goes off in the man's head. "You died, Sidney, and now you live again." Whisked away by his mother, young Deitch is left to wonder, was it all just the mad ravings of a drunk, or a tantalizing glimpse into reincarnation? Thus begins Deitch's quest to piece together a cosmic jigsaw puzzle of creation and reveal his past lives. This sprawling odyssey weaves through time and space, encompassing a dizzying array of oddball characters, including aspiring screenwriter Sidney Pincus, a tribe of moon-dwelling Native Americans, a feline YouTube star, a has-been silver screen cowboy, Frank Sinatra, and the awesome Monkey God, featuring Deitch's surreal scenarios and eye-popping psychedelia. Reincarnation Stories is a gripping yarn and a cartooning tour de force. Those are your specials for this week.
Truth. It's amazing to me that Sammy was. It's not amazing. It's amazing that they were all racist, except for Sammy, and Sammy was the most talented of them all.
Oh, I agree.
That's what's amazing to me. But cheapgraphicnovels.com. Cheapgraphicnovels.com.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm boring, to say the least, but I am drinking, and it is Double Trouble by Charles and Charles. 2020. The stuff is on clearance, which is always a bad sign.
Fact.
Well, I mean, it's a bad sign because, it's a bad sign for you because what are you going to drink next week?
Yeah. Now I have to find, I got next week covered.
Okay.
But, because I have 2 bottles. But it's the grape gin is gonna come. It's gonna roll off the rails pretty soon. So there's that. But yeah.
Okay, nice. I'm coming at you from Strong Island tonight.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm drinking a Meritage from Lieb, Lieb Cellars, which is based in North Fork, Long Island. It's a 2020 Meritage, Lieb Cellars Estate. Uh, yeah, it's quite good, quite good.
Or at least you're not teetotaling.
Nah, dude, bro, I had such a week. This is, I was putting in the mind is working overtime this week, so I'm chilling like Bob Dylan with my homies tonight with a nice glass of wine.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
I appreciate the Dylan reference.
You got it.
Well, then I'll leave the country, and I'll take us to Argentina, where this is a Malbec, 2024 Malbec from Aguirre Bay. Sorry, it is a it's my first time trying it, and I ain't mad at it. It's according to the bottle, it has soft tannins, expressive fruit aromas. It can be paired well with meats and hard cheese or a podcast. So yeah, I'm enjoying this quite a bit.
I think they get AI to write the one right up because they all sound the same to me.
I mean, it's all grapes, and then depending on
I mean,
age, the soil, things like that. But you're not going to get too many differences amongst.
Right. I think AI probably has a role in all ad copy these days. But
yeah, probably.
I feel like the wine descriptions haven't changed much though, so I don't know that it's like
they probably cut and paste.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know. Like this one says this classic Meritage blend is leathery with tobacco, cranberries, and cherries on the nose.
It sounds like a variation on a theme.
I think a human wrote that.
I hope so. You know what a human did write?
What did a human write?
Well, a lot of things. What?
Pour one out. Pour one way out.
Yeah.
For the best Spider-Man writer in existence. You know.
Well, I mean, I don't.
You know, creator of the Punisher. It's indisputable, right?
He is a creator of the Punisher. You are right.
Yeah. And he has left us at 75 years old.
Yeah, my dad's age.
Yep. Jerry Conway has died, and I would be remiss because he's my Spider-Man guy, and he did way more than that. If you bring up the wiki or just Google him, it'll list everything that Jerry has done. But to me, which is my truth, he is the writer of the best version of Spider-Man in existence.
I love that for you. Well, I'm sad that he died, but I love that you take such joy from his work.
Yeah.
Yeah, pour one out for Jerry Conway, man. Like another one of the architects of our childhood is gone.
I know. Yeah. There's not too many left. What's Claremont gonna die?
Oh God! Don't put that out there on the
universe. No, I'm just saying that. I'm just saying, like Claremont.
Hopefully, it won't be in the middle of eating a sandwich.
Yeah.
He seems to be in good health. Him and Walt seem to be both kicking pretty well, still getting around easy. And
yeah.
Alan Davis looks rough. I mean, I've seen him at a bunch of shows. He's
right.
He seems like he's had better days, but
just to pick us up a little bit, just to move the podcast in a different, more positive direction. It does my soul good to see the up and comers doing well, right?
Okay.
Where there's still room among the big two for the ne'er-do-wells and the seldom seen to make money at their craft, right? I don't know. Call me crazy. Call me nuts. It's been done before. It'll be done again. And rightly so. But I think if this guy applies himself, that there's a future in this for him. I don't know if you've heard his name, but his name is Jim Cheung.
I've heard of the gentleman. Yeah.
Yeah. He recently released with another guy, a writer named Jeph Loeb. I don't know.
I'm not too sure he's got much of a future, but yes, but
I
Jim,
believe he's also written a Spider-Man trailer too.
Yeah. Jay David Ramos did the color art, and Richard Starkings.
I know about that, huh?
And Tyler Smith did lettering and design. He recently released a book that I think Cheung is out for payday. Because if he is moving, if he's moving away, the only one that I could see not going for a grip is the first page. There are many pages that will go for multiples of a grip, but the first page it's okay, but every other page, especially the ones with Wonder Woman, Batman Solo, Harley Quinn,
The double page spreads are amazing.
Joker.
He put his heart into this book. I mean, I know we have it. I mean, he's done covers here and there, and I don't remember the last time he's really done sequential pages as far as interiors go. But Batman Wonder Woman True was worth the wait. I didn't know I was missing Jim as much as I was until I read this issue.
The best thing they could have done, they did. They made it a one shot.
Yes.
He either has to get an upscale hardcover format because they can't put it. They could put it in a team up book, but why would they bear it? And the book is so good that they almost have to publish it as a hardcover album format graphic novel, where every page I could see these things huge, and they would not suffer a bit from the expanded size. They're so gorgeous that it's almost inconceivable to me that this is a guy. Now, your mileage may vary, but Scion was okay. It's he did Scion, right?
Yeah.
Scion was okay. It, even the Marvel stuff was good to great. This is on a level that it's just. I'm looking right now at the page of Wonder Woman and Batman swing across the city, and Wonder Woman has her lasso looped, and it's going all over the place, and Batman is doing his thing over the city, and there's gargoyles in the background, and there's buildings, and it's like, stop, just quit it because you're making everybody look bad. It's unbelievable. It doesn't stop there. Every page. Whereas he could have phoned it in and still have been better than 95% of the his competitors, but he did not. Like the party that Bruce Wayne is throwing for the lasso and the armaments and blah blah blah, the Wayne Tech party, the people are real. They're not just stock images cut and pasted. It's incredible. The scene with Wonder Woman in the arena. Oh my God! It's I realize that I'm slathering praise, but what can one do otherwise? It's the beauty of this issue is unimaginable.
I had two things. Well, to start, this episode needs to be clipped so this way people are aware that Vince has praised a story featuring Wonder Woman.
Right.
And,
No, it's not. No. No,
but I mean,
but you know why?
yes, I get it. It's absolutely worthy. Listen, if Jim's going to draw her, and that's one way to get Vince to dig a story with Wonder Woman, I'm not upset. The Again with the double page spreads though, when they're in the Batcave and Alfred is escorting Tim so he can go do his homework, and you get the background with everything there. The expressions, Catwoman's face, just pure exhilaration as she's swinging through the air on the lasso, and right before she gets attacked. It's just page after page. I took my time with this because I couldn't tear myself away from the page. It's just it was. I remember being solicited, but I was just like, okay, it's cool. It's a one shot, whatever. But I appreciate the fact that it's a timeless tale. It's not tied to any current continuity because we all know Alfred's current situation. It's not. We understand with their narration who they're referring to when they mention Clark. We just need to worry about these two characters, or three or four or five. But everybody in it is easily recognizable. You don't need editor's notes. You don't need footnotes. You can just pull up a chair, sit down with this, and it's a complete story. And I mean, it takes place in Gotham, so it's just it is of course just going to be Batman's rogues. But if they decide to do a sequel next year and Batman goes to visit Wonder Woman, and then we get some of her villains, but I'm not even worried about that. The fact that this exists is just it's chef's kiss. It's absolutely one of the highlights of the week. I'm thrilled with it, actually.
Yeah, the scene with the petasaurus, she's swinging multiple times. Her body's undulating and moving and gyrating across the surface of the dinosaur bones is with Batman in the background, like crazy good. It's unbelievable. Now I don't know how much that would go for. I would guess $5,000.
The double page spread? Oh no, more than that.
That's why I'm asking, particularly Jason, because he out of the three of us has the best.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Knowledge.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm just the problem. The only reason I'm hesitant is because prices have all gone up so much in recent years, and he hasn't had a ton for sale in recent years. But here you go. Okay, so here we go. Wait, I'm just looking at his page here. What'd you say? How much did you say, Vince?
5,000
for an interior double page?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that's not far off because it might be a little more. Like I'm looking here because like his covers that he's been doing are like between 9,000 and 12,000, and So it might be more. It might be more. I'm trying to find a double page spread that he's done recently that I can find a price for. But
I'm trying to remember some of the
like we said,
prices.
he hasn't done a lot of interiors in a while, so that it's hard to. I'm having trouble finding an interior that he's done recently that would be applicable.
Brother was looking for a payday. It kind of makes the when Dap bought, and I believe you did as well, Cheung artwork, and you what was it? Not Infinity.
From Infinite.
Infinite, yeah.
Yeah.
Where I think you paid $500.
Well, the fact that Dap owns one tells that they weren't expensive. Because my
well,
man
no,
wasn't
but it's
breaking
also
out any
well. Listen,
massive purchase.
Mine is the first page of the series. It's Thanos all small on his throne. I love the page because it's like the first appearance of Corvus Glaive and an Outrider, which of course they appeared in Infinity War as they were trying to breach Wakanda. But yeah, I love that page just because it's so creepy. But I own a Cheung. It's from one of Hickman's minis at Marvel. And yes, obviously it wasn't breaking my bank. It may have been one of the few pieces I purchased that weekend or that year. But no, it wasn't expensive for. I don't even. Yeah, I'd have to check to see how much it was, but obviously it wasn't all that expensive.
I'm looking. I own a page. I have own a couple of Chunks, but the one in question, I have a page from Infinity issue 1 as well. Mine is the entire Black Order.
Yeah,
all 5 members. I paid $400 for it back in 2014. So
yes, I may have paid
looking at his. Okay, looking at his pages now, like modern, like Children's Crusade, which is almost all sold. I mean, that's obviously came out, but like he has 2 pages, I guess, that he still has in his inventory of Children's Crusade pages that are not like featured pages. That's probably why they're still not sold, and they're $2,000 a piece. So, like, I mean, yeah. So we got good deals.
Like the double page spread with Harley in the Harlequin costume with the hammer and Catwoman in the foreground. Like, name your price.
It's really awesome that you guys are starting with this because I picked this up on a whim purely because it was by Cheung. Because you guys know how much I love Cheung, and I'm like, oh well, I haven't freaking read a Cheung comic in a minute.
Right.
So why not? Because like I'm getting my fill of Wonder Woman already. Reading both of her books, and I'm like, but whatever, it's Cheung. I'm like, let's see, and yeah, like you guys have said, it's like bittersweet because it's so great and it's so like his work is so impeccable, and then it just makes me wonder, like, what's Bro doing? Like, is he just independently wealthy? Like,
yeah, why work?
I'm saying, is he like he never makes comics anymore? Like, it's so rare.
Yeah, well, when you do them like this, it's easy to see why.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking. I have a page, like we said, from Infinity. I have a page of his from Avengers, and I have a Domino commission from him. I do not own a Children's Crusade page. I would love to. That's my favorite thing he's ever done. But yeah.
He did that first one of the early years. We went to New York Comic Con, and we went. It was the preview night before they opened it for the public, and it was just for exhibitors and press.
Yes,
was the first Thursday night.
Yeah, Loika tried to get me a commission from him that year. Yeah.
Okay. And I know that and so yeah, you were able to get to see Jim. I don't know if you made a. Mm-hmm. Was that the year you got the Domino, or did you order that?
No, I got a Domino many years later through Comic Sketch Art when they were taking commissions for him.
He but Jim doodled in my in my Young Avengers hardcover, so that was the first Jim sketch that I got.
Yeah, to be fair, on two levels, I would give him thousands of dollars to pay for original art. I just wouldn't.
Wow, that's for you. That's shocking because you don't open your wallet for anything.
Well, right, I would not give him the money. But
you wouldn't? I thought you said you would.
No. It is worth it. especially again, the Joker double page with Wonder Woman and the Joker in the foreground and the guns and the cowboy outfit and the
Ricochet.
it's like it's crazy.
Yep.
Two, I don't hate Wonder Woman. I really like Wonder Woman a lot. It's just that I don't think the current climate is conducive to me reading Wonder Woman. If you remember, Daniel Warren Johnson's Black Label, I love the hell out of it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not the character of Wonder Woman that bothers me. It's the artists who work on Wonder Woman.
Your favorite artist in the world is working on Wonder Woman.
Who's that?
Hayden Sherman.
Oh, that's different. That's
wait, what?
I wouldn't pay for that either, but that is the absolute line. Yeah, I dig it. I think it's amazing, but again, I wouldn't buy it. There are very, very, very few artists I'd spend the money on to buy a Wonder Woman page. The same goes for Batman and the Joker and Catwoman. Superman is a different story. I would buy a Triangle Air Superman page by Jurgens or Bogdanov or blah 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 in a second because I know they're good. They're really good, and they're not going to send me back a grip. Like,
bro, everything's going to set you back a grip these days, unless it's a yet to be discovered or reasonably unpublished artist.
Well, Cheung needed or wanted. It doesn't matter, money, because this issue is loaded. It's crazy.
It's a really fun issue, man. I think the story's kind of just there, which again is fine. Like it's really just an outline to give Cheung a chance to draw these characters in an awesome way. Like in a lot of ways, it reminds me, and I don't. It reminds me of Batman Hush in the sense that, like, you know, we've talked about this many times, so we don't have to belabor the point. Like, none of us really consider Hush a seminal Batman story, even though many do. But to me, like, the thing about Hush is it was a chance for Jim Lee, in as much as people, if you don't love Jim Lee, then so be it. But if you're a big Jim Lee fan, and there's many out there, like, Hush was a chance for Jim to draw all the Batman characters in splash pages, right? Which is really what the book, like, I'm gonna always remember the book as, oh, that was Jim Lee's chance to draw those characters. Like, I don't think the story's anywhere near worthy of being called a classic. Kind of reminds me of this, like, it's a one shot, like, it's a totally fine story. It's like a heist story, right? Like, I feel like all the characters, like, Loeb does a fine job of making all the characters like feel like themselves. I think they're all like on brand or whatever. But like the story itself is relatively slight. You know, I didn't come away thinking, oh, this is an Eisner, you know, winning story or an 11 O'Clockers like pick for my story. But as a visual tapestry to remind us that Jim Cheung should be chained to a drafting table and forced to draw comics every day.
Right.
Yeah, that certainly did. Yeah. It served its purpose. It was a really nice surprise. Like I guess you guys, I don't remember even knowing it was going to exist, and then I'm like, oh, Jim Cheung drew a DC comic. Let me check it out.
Yeah, that's what got me to read it. Jeph Loeb, I could not care less. You know.
Yeah.
But at the core, it's a Bruce Wayne Diana story. They keep telling me that Hush ranks among the Batman rogues. He doesn't. But that doesn't stop DC from trying to make Hush as potent as, say, the Riddler or, you know, Scarecrow or insert villain here, the Penguin, whatever. But damn. It's almost bittersweet, where I don't want to see Diana drawn by anybody but Cheung. That like the Batcave double page spread.
Mm-hmm.
How much? At least $8,000. At least.
Probably, man.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But more power to him. You know, if you can produce art like this and get paid on the back end as well as the front end, because he got paid his usual rate. Whereas I don't know what the sales or care what the sales figures are, but I can imagine this selling very well because
yeah, I will. Yeah, again, I don't pay attention to sales figures anymore, so I have no idea. But yeah, it doesn't really matter to me.
It's really one-stop shopping, right? This is it. This is So I hope that they milk the hell out of this. I hope that they publish this for years and years and years and years, as much as Watchmen.
About Watchmen?
They have to keep Watchmen in print. If they don't keep Watchmen in print, the rights would revert to Alan Moore. That was one of the stipulations of Moore's contract. Whereas I hope they keep this in print because I think it's a great issue.
Indeed.
For all the reasons you listed, and the art is spectacular.
Indeed.
Yeah. I just want to say that. It's nice to see the little guys, the up-and-comers, do well.
It's nice to see a guy break through finally after toiling away at his career.
Good. You are correct.
Dap.
Jason.
What I don't know how we can talk about this without spoilers, so we're gonna have to give it a little quick spoilers warning. Because I just don't see how we talk about some books without actually discussing plot. So it just kind of seems like pointless. So with that in mind, people, if you don't want to hear spoilers, fast forward like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. What did you think of the 12th issue of Exquisite Corpses?
Dude, I had an inkling. I'm not saying that I knew where it was going, but I had an inkling. But I am not. Mm-hmm. I'm definitely not upset. I love the fact that the players, I'm doing air quotes, are still in the tournament. I felt some kind of way about one of the players and their fate. But I think it was clever. I haven't ventured out to see what anybody else might be saying about it. If they feel like it's a cop out or oh my god, but no, the way it was going, the way this particular event, out of the decades, every 5 or 7 years they've been having them, the fact that this one seems to have kind of gone off the rails a bit, I'm loving it. I know who I want to win, but as far as the events of that night,
I mean, listen, you're down with the swirl, so I know who you want to win.
Plus, that was also the participant. Listen, that was the participant that they made a big deal about in the first issue, coming out of retirement, and that old woman. Absolutely. So
the other participant is the baffling one,
and the fact that
to me. Like baffling from
the switch just went off, and the fact that, I mean, yes, she's at wit's end. She is beside herself because she thinks her loved one is dead, and so I get it, and then but the fact that she still is behaving in such a deranged manner, it's and then being manipulated on top of all that because they want their pound of flesh and they want it. But it's, man, you could have had a million different ideas as to how the tournament was going to go, and probably not end up where we are. But I thought it was great. I really am. I've been having a blast with it, and I know, after the first issue or two, because we were all in and we were giddy for it, and then we felt like it kind of just tread water a little bit in the middle issues. But no, I mean, to get through that so we could have this, it's a hell of a ride. I cannot, and I just, man, I don't know how we're going to continue it, because this is the first season, they say. I don't know what the future holds, but I am just, I'm loving it. I really, really did. I closed the issue and I was just like, son of a bitch. I'm like, yeah, they corralled us here, and now we're all just waiting to see where we're going. But man, what a ride! I am. And Walsh came back to do the whole issue, so it looks great. I really liked everything about the 12th issue.
Nice. Yeah, me too. I have to say, like you said, I was loving it. Well, obviously we were all loving it. We were all talking about it. Then it was good, but then I was like, I don't know, man. It felt off, not off schedule. Yeah, no, it felt like off schedule. I was like, well, I'm like, damn, like this is a 13 issue series, and like I don't know that they're going to get there. Which is weird, because 13, you almost think it's like the opposite. You feel like I would say, like, a lot of times 12 or 13 issue series, there's like filler in the middle, and you're like, come on, get on with it. Whereas this, I felt like, oh man, like there's a lot more competitors to die. There's a lot, like, what's going to happen to the people in the town. Like, it just felt like you said, they were slow playing it, and so I was a little, not indifferent, but a little anxious that our initial adoration for the concept was gonna fall short. And I mean, it's worth pointing out to the listeners that we have issue 13 still to have happen, and that comes out in May, and that will be the final issue of this run. And so I guess we shouldn't say they stuck the landing yet, because we haven't seen the landing. But yeah, I thought 11 and 12 really, surprisingly to me, gave me I feel like it was a very satisfying run up to this. I mean, even though halfway through issue 12, all of the original combatants are dead. It feels right, and it feels exciting, and yeah, I think it's been a masterful job. They definitely course corrected whatever shaky ground I was fearing they were going to end up being in at this point in the story. So yeah, really well done. And I'm not, what else too? I wasn't sure how I felt about the different artists all the time, because that often can be an annoyance. Mm-hmm. But I think for the most part, because Tynion and his crew and Michael are like, they're in a way like, I'm not saying they're like Mignola and his crew, because Mignola's been at it for so much longer, and so I don't want to like say that. I don't want to try. It's maybe an unfair comparison, but what I mean by that is, I feel like there's a visual aesthetic to the people that they're in their circle that are coincident enough that even though there were a lot of roving artists at hand in the series by design, for the most part, I think it looked very cohesive. And that's comforting, because I was also worried that there'd be issues that just felt wonky because they were drawn by people who just had a very different line, mm-hmm. And so I think they pulled it off. So
yeah,
with one issue to go. Yeah.
I fell off around issue 3, 4.
Which is interesting, because you fucking love the first issue.
Yeah, I thought, no, I do. I still think it's good. But since we're dealing with spoilers, right?
Yeah.
I think her name, the ambulance driver. What's her name? The ambulance driver.
The lead. The protagonist.
Yeah, the niece of the sheriff who left the town.
If she's not dead, or she is the mind control that you're talking about.
Laura Thomas is her name.
Laura. If she's not the mind control that you're talking about, then there's something wrong with my ability to deduce. Because I thought that she was pretty much untouchable early on. So you can tell me, you can't tell me, whatever. I care, but I don't. But the fact that she is she still alive towards the end?
Yes. Absolutely.
Well, then she must be the one that is mind controlled. Because for her not to be, she would be dead.
I'll just say she is alive, but I think you're on the wrong side of the rest of it.
She's involved in the contest,
but not mind controlled though. She's not mind controlled though.
Yeah,
she's still alive and integral to the story going into the 13th issue, but she is not the one that snapped her mind controlled.
Oh, okay. Well, she should be dead.
I mean, she's the only one who kept her cool throughout the entire night. She's a soldier.
She should. But these are professionals, right? That she's, I'm sure she's good, but is she that good?
Well, she also knows the town. She lives here.
Well, when the hardcover comes out in a few months, you should read it and find out.
Yeah. I have all the issues. I never stopped buying it. I let them stack up, and I never got back to them because I don't know what they know this is not, but I like to bring something new every show. Whereas I think talking about that, it's good, but there's only 13 issues. Whereas, it's going to get repetitive after a while. Yeah. I noticed there was something up about her early on, and I'm like, well, she either did it, meaning the tournament, or she's going to die. But we'll see. We'll see.
We shall see.
I'll read it. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, what I did read was amazing. But again, why do we follow books? I don't know. We do it all the time. Whether it's
of course, yeah, of course we do. Well, we especially fall off books like talking about them because, like you said, it's always this delicate balance of like you don't want to talk about something too much and be repetitive, but then we often, because there's other new things to talk about or other things that we all collectively want to talk about, we never get around to often like recapping a thing and being like, oh, it really was good. Like it's a tricky thing. It's actually another reason why I love talking about graphic novels collections, because inherently when you talk about it, you're likely talking about it in its totality. You're talking about the beginning and the end, and you can give everyone a holistic thought on what you thought of the whole thing. But it's a balancing act. There's no right or wrong.
I could understand Absolute Wonder Woman because it's always different. It's always boundary pushing, and to a lesser extent, but I don't want to say equal, to a lesser but almost there extent, Absolute Batman, where it's an exercise in how to make comics the right way, right? I could see talking about them multiple times, but Absolute Flash, what are you gonna say? Oh, another great issue. It looks the same every time. Yeah, it's really good, but it's the same book all the time. Does that make it bad? No, of course not. It makes it a really good comic. But uh, I put myself in the place of a listener, and it's like, oh my God, he's talking about Absolute Flash again.
Yeah, no. I agree. There are certain things, absolute being where we need to be diligent about that, because it's like, hey, it's like it was great again. Yeah, no, I'm with you. Like, again, it's a balancing act. It's a balancing act.
Right.
I don't think it's
Right.
wrong to bring it up every couple months when there's a new arc or something, but to bring up every issue and be like, oh, I read that was great, is definitely
Yeah.
repetitive. But
Right. Right.
yeah.
There you go.
There is a book which I don't know. I'm going to preface before I talk about it, that I don't know how easy it's going to be for people to get. Maybe totally easy to get. But I don't know beforehand, so I'm going to preface that. Um, I think it's fair to say we all have a soft spot in our heart for Larry Wells's Cherry, right? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, hey, we got a
Who
little
doesn't?
erotica. He's one of the OGs of the erotic comics world. And he and his team have done a number of crowdfunding projects in recent years. One of which was recently fulfilled, and it was a beautiful deluxe hardcover called Everybody Loves Cherry. Now, this same collection was originally published way back in 2011 through Last Gasp. So this is just you know, a reprint of that. I did not own the Last Gasp version though, so I was happy to back the campaign. And what this book is it's a collection of some, not all, but some of the more prominent Cherry stories that had collaborators that weren't just Larry doing Cherry. And I mean, let's just be upfront. This is, for people not familiar. Cherry is a porn comic. It is a buxom, 20-something blonde Barbie-esque girl who goes around in different, really any setting that Larry feels like drawing her in, whether it be modern times or a western or a space faring adventure. But it's basically he draws her having sex with people, right? Like it's hardcore porn comics. So let's not like try and pretend it isn't. So if that's not something you're into, then you can disregard this. But if that's something that might you might find intriguing, I thought this collection was absolutely fascinating. Now I've read a bunch of Cherry comics before. I own some collections of his work. But what makes this one fascinating is the creators that partnered with him. Now, again, I know you two, jabrones, probably have either read or know about a lot of these stories already, because these are stories that were made over the last like 30, 40 years. It's not like they were done for this book. They were done over the years and they collected them. But it's pretty.
Yeah.
I had no idea he was a freaky deaky. I thought it was so fun to see him be a freaky deaky. It was great.
Well, it depends on how much he was paid, right?
Well, either way, though, I mean, like, not only was he a freaky deaky, but he was a freaky deaky sending up his own most famous comic creation.
Yeah.
So I thought that. I thought that was a total pleasure. Neil Gaiman did a story.
Yep.
What? Well, listen. I know Neil's a controversial character in the moment, but he's still fucking Neil Gaiman, and he did a story called "The Innkeeper's Soul" about angels and demons, kind of playing it at good versus evil, which I did not know existed. Pete Bagg, Jim Woodring, Like these are like you just don't think of these people as people that would like dive into the like because they're creators that are kind of like down there like wild. And you like wouldn't surprise you that they drop into these waters, but they surprise me. Much less surprising, but the Los Hernandez bros are in this book. Johnny Ryan, Hunt Emerson. There's a ton of Mark Bodie, but again, that's not surprising. Bodie did a lot of Cherry comics over the years. Of course, son of Vaughn. Dan DiCarlo, Shannon Wheeler, Bill Griffith. Trying to think who else. I don't have the book sitting here. It's actually in the other room. Kate Worley. Kate Worley's in it. Right. Yeah, the point is, it's just a wild thing to see all of these incredible creators from different eras, many of whom are like quote unquote serious creators, just getting their freak on. And I loved it. And I've highly recommended it. So like, but again, I don't know how easy it is to get. I don't think it's available like through all of our, through like CGN or Amazon or anything like that. So I think you probably have to get it from Larry at a con. Now the good news is Larry does a shit ton of cons. I mean, he's done Heroes, he does New York every year. So like if you see Larry at a con, or maybe on his website, maybe LarryWells.com, you could like it's available. I don't know. But if if this sounds like it might be up your alley, this is definitely a fun one to add to the collection because it's just to see Cherry written and drawn by all of these different people is pretty fun stuff.
I think Last Gasp is carrying it.
Oh, maybe. I didn't know. Okay, that's possible.
I'm pretty sure, but don't quote me. The biggest surprise for me of everyone you mentioned was Jim Woodring.
He did. Now, to be fair, he did a pinup, just a pinup, but
right. But
still,
the fact that he did one, it was crazy to me.
Yeah.
But
absolutely, yeah.
Pete Bag, not so much. I know Pete's a freak.
Yeah, he's not as surprising to me either. I agree. And again, I wasn't so much surprised necessarily that Marv Wolfman is a freak. Like I wouldn't have an opinion one way or the other. It's the fact that he wrote a porn comic about the Titans, which
right, yeah.
Like I was like, oh man, okay, he's working out some demons.
I'm down with this.
Yeah.
Is it a hardcover?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
So
that was a lot of fun, man.
We'll have to see how much Larry has it for at Heroes.
Yeah, I agree.
Then you can bring it back.
I will.
Yeah.
Just for you, brother.
Deb, are you talking about the same thing that I'm going to talk about?
That depends.
That feels like a loaded question.
Go ahead, and then we'll see.
Okay, what do we got next? Actually, let me check your list. You know what? I will say that, there are two things that we read on our list.
Yep.
So we can
we've covered already, so there is one other thing.
Well, no, then there's three. There's the crossover. Wow. There's the finally released first issue of a miniseries. So we can pick you pick.
Jason is just going to have to swallow his pride.
Yeah, that's fine.
While we talk about this. But I read Spider-Man Superman #1.
Same.
The Marvel side of the Superman Spider-Man equation. And going in, I thought, well, if it's 50%, 50, as good as the DC one, I consider that a win. You know, because the DC one is very, very good. Where the Marvel one should be, it should be better, right? Where because I consider the original a Marvel book. I know that's a me thing.
Oh, the one from 50 years ago?
Yeah, I
Okay.
consider
Yeah.
it a Marvel book.
Yeah, I do too.
But after consuming the entirety of the issue, I think it's pretty neck and neck. Whereas the DC one is very surprising, but done in a way that was very good. The Marvel one is equally surprising, but there's bigger. I think there's bigger names on the Marvel one, and I think they brought most of their A game because some of the stories are 4 pages. What can you do in 4 pages, right?
With a deft hand, quite a lot.
Yeah, well, again, right? You are correct, but the Brad Meltzer lead-off story, which is long, illustrated by Pepe Larraz. Stop. With Matthew Wilson on color and Clayton Cowles on letters, is essentially the same story as the DC one. Whether it's Superman and Spider-Man go up against Luthor and the Goblin, but Spider-Man has to lift a huge amount of weight to keep them from dying, and it's like Clark is looking at Peter. It's like, how's he doing that? He shouldn't be able to do that. Again, nostalgia, right? It's almost the same scene. Well, it is the same scene. But then Brad Meltzer makes Superman with the Venom. And I had to stop. And I'm just like, okay, is this dumb? Is this pandering to the audience? Because in the background are Doomsday and the Rhino and the Goblin and Luthor and the Parasite and Doc Ock and Brainiac, it's like Taskmaster, Kraven is hobnobbing with Deathstroke, and it's really, really nice. But the foreground is Superman as Venom, and I had to ask myself, is this stupid? No, I did. Because it ends so fast, right? One would think that Superman as Venom would be enough for a 6-issue miniseries, But I stopped, and I took a breather. That's my breathing, and it's not stupid. It's fun. I had a lot of fun with it. I thought, boy, that's pretty neat. Superman is Venom, and it ends within 22 pages. I give me more of that. Give me more of that. I don't know how you felt.
When I read the DC offering, I thought that first story, the Superman Spider-Man story, reminded me, it was very evocative of the original crossover from 50 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
And I read that issue, and not every story was a banger in Superman Spider-Man. But I figured this, and again, prejudging based on Batman Deadpool and Deadpool Batman, I figured the DC offering is going to be the stronger one. But not really, and not by much, because the first story in the Marvel book, I first of all, Brad Meltzer, I came out of nowhere. I wasn't, of all the Superman and Spider-Man writers, like, Meltzer wasn't exactly the one that I was like, oh, who would be a good writer to tell that story? Right. But he did a bang up job. Pepe looks great, but I really did like this story. I mean, we're in the thick of it right off the bat, because Superman and Spider-Man are nearly down and out as they're having their little conversation. And obviously Superman's out of it because there's kryptonite around, and then, yes, of course, you get the Venom. So now we have a symbiote, and yeah, they, for lack of a better term, they made quick work of things, but then the postscript, everything that happened after the story with our heroes, that kicked it up a notch. That absolutely took it over the top for me, because now it's just these two people, these two men who meet each other outside of the costumes, and they're all about the family. And it was,
they're essentially the same character, give or take.
Yeah,
you know, they both have no one, but they have someone.
Right.
There have been people there to fill the void left by their parents, and it's just like, who would have thought of such a thing, right?
And in the little things, like when, because obviously, they meet, Clark catches up with Peter at Ben's gravesite, and but then Peter isn't, he doesn't let things get by him, because he points out to Superman, to Clark, that, listen, there were two pairs of glasses you were carrying around. Obviously one's yours when you're Clark Kent, but the other one, and it's like, wow, that's just, like, of all, Jurgens, Wheezy, the Bendis, Tomasi, like, all these writers over the years, and it's like, it's something like that stuck with me. That's a moment where I'm just like, that's a fucking Superman moment. That's something that I don't know if that's ever been committed to paper anywhere else, and it happened here. And it's something special, and we're aware of it now. Spider-Man is the one who pointed it out, and I'm just like, this is, and then Peter takes May to Smallville, and where he gets to meet, they meet the Kents, and there's arm wrestling, but not who would you think, and it's just, it was a fantastic story. It was, I mean, honestly, the one shot could have ended there. I'd have been content. I'd have been happy.
It could.
Because again, as with an anthology, not everything's going to be, we're not all Dark Horse Presents. You're not going to get, not everyone's going to be a home run. But as far as, because you've got Spider-Man Noir and the 30 Superman, you've got a whole thing with, and this was the other thing, is that the DC one pretty much was primarily focusing on the two title characters. The Marvel book, they just brought out everybody, whether they're related to Spider-Man or not. Like, you've got a whole thing in Fantastic Four story in here. I mean, yes, obviously Superman's in it, but I mean, Spider-Man barely is.
I don't want to see anybody else but Gary Frank draw the thing.
That is,
because I thought Gary Frank's thing was incredible.
And again, and it's a Jeff Johns written story, and he brings along his boy from Geiger to Gary Frank, and Wheezy gets to write a Steel story again for the first time in a while.
Eva Bendis. Bendis did of course, Miles Morales and Superman, and it's like that didn't suck.
It did not suck. No. I think the Gwen and Lana story was a lot better than the Lois and Mary Jane story from the other book.
I tend to agree. Yeah.
And that's no disrespect to Tom or Jim, but it wasn't a good story. I didn't need to hear the women like squawk while it gives Jim Lee another reason to draw Gambit and save the day with Superman and Spider-Man.
Whoa, bro.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
No, it was fun.
Remy beat that Cajun Fire, yo.
No,
Vader's entered the room. Okay. Vince got to see some Todd Nauck, which is great. There's a Phil Noto story here for Jason. There's just,
Sir Bricelli, Russell Donnerman, Jim Cheung. Like, it's. I think they did really, really well.
I do
on the Superman, Spider-Man, Superman. I think once they're combined in a hardcover format, I think this is one that you're going to want to buy. And not only will you buy it and love it the first time, I think you'll go back to it time and again because, like I said, Jason Aaron is a good writer. Has he written stuff that is amazing across the board? Not so much. I think the symbiotes in that Jason Aaron wrote is really, really well done. Like, I don't know how to say it. I thought they did a bang up job. I wasn't ashamed of being a fan of the whole intercompany crossover.
Yeah.
Awesome. Glad y'all dug it.
Yeah. A lot, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet.
These days, I think $7.99 is too much. That's not what we paid. We got a discount, but cover rights is $7.99. Well, I think that's a bit much for a comic book. Yeah, but still, I thought the value was inherent. Your mileage again, it may be different, but I think that the price was commensurate with the enjoyment I got out of the thing.
Yeah.
So there.
Good stuff.
All right.
Love to hear it. Can we talk about the most interesting and controversial book to come out?
This week?
Or last week? I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I read it.
I think it came out. If you talk about the one that I think you're talking about, it came out this week, and it's Swamp Thing 88.
Yes, exactly right.
Yeah,
bro. Yo, so this is a fascinating thing on a lot of levels, right? So, to be clear, we're all referring to it as Swamp Thing number 88, and it is, but the book, I believe, is officially called Swamp Thing 1989, number 1 of 4.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But the cover, which was not the original cover of the intended, but the cover that we're seeing does, in fact, have the old trade dress and say Swamp Thing 88. And that is, in fact,
everything has the old trade dress. Whether it's the cover, the ads, the text pages, everything. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a book which I am just infinitely mesmerized that it exists. Like, and I let me preempt everyone before we talk about this. People are like, well, Woodrow, you said recently that you hate when old heads go back to stories, and I'm like, I do. Generally, I do. I generally find like when they're like, oh, Claremont's going to do X-Men, 89. It's like, oh, it's going to suck, or like. oh, like Ron Lim's going to do a Silver Surfer story. I'm like, okay, I don't care. Like generally speaking, I don't need old head creators to go back to the well as though the last 30 years of comics never happened. Like that generally doesn't do much for me. This is different. This is different on a lot of levels.
Yeah.
Number one, the vast majority of people credited in this book are no longer with us.
Yeah, they're right. They're dead. Yeah.
And the ones who are with us don't really make comics much.
Right.
Like number two, the reason that this book is coming out is not because they're like, oh, wouldn't it be fun if we just picked up where we left off? The reason this is coming out is because they already wrote this story 30 years ago, and DC wouldn't let them publish it. And we've all known that it existed since then. And I don't know why in 2020, in the year of our Lord, 2026, they decided it was okay and time to publish it. But I am very, very happy and proud of DC for saying, let's do it.
Well,
especially at the time. Go ahead.
I think the pendulum has swung where the time to publish it has long since passed, where it's swinging back now into the danger zone, where I think the religious right is more powerful today.
That's why I'm saying it's a fascinating that in 2026 we're getting this book, which is like I'm legit shocked. I mean, well, first of all, on a high level, I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Did you guys love it? Before we get into the
yes,
it was the best thing I read this week.
I agree. So we should set the tone. I mean, we have talked about Swamp Thing a lot over the years. I don't know that we've ever talked about this particular period, but Rick Veitch was writing the book. He had Swampy going around different parts of human history and was interweaving Swampy into sort of like retconning him into almost like Forrest Gump it. Like he was like Forrest Gumping Swamp Thing into different key moments in human history. And, there's a vibe. And then he was leading up to tying Swamp Thing into Jesus Christ and the crucifixion.
Like, who thought that was a good idea?
and maybe you guys remember. I don't remember because this happened. This would have come out in '89, and I was a freshman in high school, so I don't remember the brouhaha of how I don't remember exactly like how they explained why they didn't put it out, but they didn't put it out because they were fucking petrified with the idea of putting out a comic where the original cover, which is not this cover, was Swamp Thing as the crucifix.
Yeah.
So they decided, all right, that's enough. We're done. And they actually basically ended the series. Like the series just sort of, at least this version of the series just kind of just ended. Just like they just basically pulled the plug on it, like mid existence.
Well, they did. They didn't. But
to be
fair,
storyline just vanished. I mean,
right. To be fair, Steve Bissett, who has no problem at all typing, none.
That is true.
He wrote a through-page framing sequence where it all comes down to the murder of Time Warner, and whether they felt that it would negatively impact sales of the Batman movie tickets.
Right, yeah, I read that too, yeah.
They stood to make billions, if not billions of dollars, and they didn't want something like this to distract everybody from the fact that, hey, Tim Burton is doing Batman, and it's really good. Whatever. Let's not publish this one thing book. And Veitch is like, okay, I'll change it somewhat, but I won't change it to the point where it's unrecognizable. And DC said, nope, you're done. And Veitch it's gone down to the point of legend that we never thought. It's out there if you want it. What was done, but we never thought we would have seen this by DC. Now that we've seen it, it's like, of course they wouldn't publish it.
I
Like,
agree.
you
Well,
know,
and this is the other fascinating thing. You were great. You mentioned that this was at the time of the AOL Time Warner merger, and so there was a lot of corporate oversight into everything. And I find this fascinating that we're getting this right now because what is happening? Paramount is in the process of trying to buy Time Warner. They're in the fucking same situation they were back in 1989. Again, Time
it's
Warner has
nuts.
been. It's absolutely insane. Like we're right back to like right. In fact, this very week, there was a massive shareholder lawsuit, antitrust lawsuit against Paramount and Time Warner for about this merger. They don't want it to happen, so we'll see. But like, dude, I gotta say, now, again, I have been an atheist since I knew what the concept was. I mean, I have never hidden from the fact that I find heretical stories tittillating
Yeah,
as a result.
they're boring. I agree.
You know, this was I found this quite fascinating. Again, if you're a person of if you're Christian or Judeo-Christian, like in any way, and still if you're a believer, you'll probably find this fairly offensive. um,
Yeah.
so be forewarned is forearmed. I know plenty of our listeners, are people of faith, and that's fine. But I'm just saying, if y'all are of faith, you're probably not going to find this comic very entertaining. Um, but they make Jesus out to be a sorcerer. And they fucking have made Marion getting fucking laid, and they have fucking Bilal, who is Etrigan's daddy, fucking involved in the crucifixion. Like it's fucking wild, dude. It's crazy. Like it's legit.
I thought that
crazy.
would be too much for you.
For me?
Yeah, because you hate Etrigan.
Oh,
But
well, interesting. When I looked I was like, this looks like Etrigan. And I'm like, oh, it's Bilal. It's Etrigan's dad. So I knew where it was going. But and he rhymes. He fucking rhymes in this. And it's like,
does.
but honestly, that should tell you how much I thought the religious send up was entertaining, because I was able to look past rhyming Yellow Demon because I thought the story was incredibly
nothing wrong with
fascinating
that.
beyond that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Plus, Jesus Christ performs an exorcism, and Bilal leaves Marcus's body and pukes up fucking Etrigan. Like I this is bananas from start to finish, and I'm here for every second of it. I cannot believe that this comic is on the shelves. I am absolutely delighted and mystified that this comic exists.
You don't know how good it is to hear that, because I think this is very as an issue. I think it's very important. If you take the Swamp Thing and put it on the back burner and look at artistic expression, it should not be dependent on whether or not the company involved stands to lose millions of dollars. You either are billions. You're either going to publish it or you're not going to publish it. That's the be all and the end all, right? What was Fitch thinking back then? If you paid attention, you realized where it was going, because Swamp Thing is as escapades are led by this chunk of amber that once you realize it was in the Ark of the Covenant, like, of course he was going to meet Jesus, right? The three wise men are Enochian magicians in disguise. They they summon Belial, who cuts their eyes and their noses and their bodies and eats them while he's talking to them. They corrupt a Roman centurion, Marcus, who, into breaking his promise to Mary Magdalene, he promised Mary Magdalene that Jesus, the Nazarene, would get away, would come through arrested, but find his way to solace, right? Belial thinks, well, here's something I can do that hasn't been done. I could capture Jesus and win. I could be like the demon. I could be the dude. And in doing so, when the dust settles, Marcus hates Julius Caesar for what he did. He hates him. Where does that seal Caesar's fate? I don't know, but it's not good. It's not a good thing at all. But again, what the hell? What the hell? What's Rick thinking? Of course, DC wouldn't publish this. Like,
well, he's got the wise men as secretly being demonic, satanic necromancers. Like,
right?
I'm absolutely like,
it's
I'm smiling ear to ear just us talking about it. It's making me smile.
Right. Written by Rick Veitch, of course. Pencils by Michael Sully. Michael Sully. Say again with me. Some initial inks by Tom Sutton, but the majority of the inks are by Vince Locke, both of which are dead. Yep. Colored by Tatiana Wood, again, dead.
Yep.
Finished by Trish Mulvihill, which she's
not
alive.
Dead. Very much alive.
Yeah. But lettered by John Costanza and Todd Klein. Like, stop. It is a tour de force on all levels. And it's colored. It's colored to look like the old comics. Where it's just take my money. Take my money for the 4 issues. Take my money for the art cover. I'm negative by nature, so
wait, you are?
Yeah, I am. So, I know it's a big surprise. It's a big surprise. I thought it was just a cash grab.
Me too. Yeah, that's the thing. I thought it was like Claremont X-Men '89. I'm like, okay, Veitch needs a fucking paycheck.
Right.
So they're like, all right, why don't you go back to Swamp Thing?
It's not. No.
No, it's not. It's great. It's fucking great. It's so subversive. I'm like, wait, what? And especially at a time when DC has never been more commercially successful. I mean, they this is the first time in their existence that they're the number one comics company in the world. Like, from a sales perspective. So I'm like, God damn, look good for y'all. Like, good for y'all that you're like you're riding the gravy train unlike you've ever ridden before. Fuck it, out. I can't, like, salute to whether it's, I don't know if it's Jim Lee involved. I don't know who made the decision, but whoever made the decision, man, mad salute. So Dap's been quiet, so he must have hated it.
I do take issue with the cover.
I think changed it.
Yeah. Falling short. Big Swamp Thing.
You know what, dude? The issue is so fucking transgressive. I can't change it. In the sense that because you can't accuse them once you crack the book open of pussyfooting around. You know.
I think the eventual collection will have the cover. Because I do not think that Swamp Thing and the Lamb while it is a decent cover, I don't think it's strong enough.
No, yeah.
That it encapsulates what you're going to get.
No, I agree with that, yeah.
I think the eventual hardcover or trade paperback, whatever they do, will have the original crucifixion cover.
Could be.
Yeah. I'm sorry. That. What? How do you feel,
dude? You've got. I mean, okay. You've already talked about the story, and the art, and the coloring, and how it's a time capsule. It feels like I'm reading a story from the late '80s, or at least as far as where Swamp Thing was going. But the fact that it was written, we've got snippets of Crisis, which is fine. But the fact that we've got fucking house ads, you've got Johnny DC on the inside cover. You've got like I'm giddy over the back house ads with Batman Year 3 and the annuals and fucking Walt Simonson book. Like I remember these ads when the books were new at the time, and I'm just like this is I hope when it is collected that it includes everything cover to cover. It includes all the extra back matter, all the house ads, everything that was as if it was right off the shelf in the late '80s. The story's great. I wasn't buying Swamp Thing religiously. It was coming out back then. So I mostly read the character when he would appear in DC Comics Presents or in someone else's book. But back then I didn't want to feel lost because it was well into Alan's run. And then of course he hands it over to Rick. So I always worried that I wasn't going to catch up or just, it wasn't like a Marvel book where, this wasn't exactly a book where, you're able to catch it. Claremont's not writing this where who everybody is within 2 pages because you can't. Yeah. So,
but on top of the fact, the Amber storyline, this is the end, of the Amber.
Yeah.
So it's like taking you into I don't want to say crossover, a multi-issue romp where Swamp Thing meets the biggest players in human history, and having him meet Jesus at the end, like and you're thrust into that where it's crazy to me. It's unbelievable that we've seen this. It exists now, where before it was it was rumor, it was speculation, it was Veach saying this and the creative team saying that. It's a whole bunch of different things, and now that we've seen it, it's like, it's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it was. When we kicked off our new segment with picking something from the solicits, and this was the one that I chose, I didn't realize how heavy, how blown away I'd be by it. I thought it'd be it.
Yeah, when you picked it, I was like, "Oh, that's kind of a cash grab," but I get it. Because I was like, I was thinking like corn. I was like, okay, yeah, I mean, I get it, like Veach, but like, yeah, I couldn't have misread what this was going to be more than, like, I was totally off on it.
Yeah, well, I as a Swamp Thing fan didn't know how scatological it would be, where it's pretty rough. It's like no punches are pulled, but it's Veach,
It's Veach. I mean, the guy. It's the guy who gave us Brat Pack and Maximortal. I mean, he doesn't really know how to tone it down.
There's a reason why Alan Moore, specifically,
chose him.
Chose Veach to continue his work.
Valid, yep.
Yeah, and I think I'm a fan of Bissett, but after a while, it's like, okay, shut up. Because he does tend to get a little crazy with I think 3 pages for Bissett are terse, whereas in the collected edition,
he promises he's got a long essay coming. I'm gonna skip that, but I'm gonna be skipping that essay. That's cool.
I got everything I need to know from. But I'll read it. Like I said, I'm a fan, but does the perfect comic exist? Yeah,
of course it does.
So I'm thinking it is.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, such a nice surprise. A bunch of nice surprises this week. Things I just tried out of curiosity, and I was like, oh, they're like the best version. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Y'all are kind of killing it this week.
I wanted to say that because I feel, but I didn't say it because I didn't want to get accused of hyperbole, which is fair. It happens.
Sure. No, I mean you are prone to hyperbole, but in this case, it's warranted.
Yeah, thanks.
I don't need to spend a lot of time on this, but I would be remiss not to shout it out because I loved it in BSR Boy. But Andrew Maclean's Headlopper #1, and again, it's like the 4th Headlopper #1, but it's the new #1 of his new run at Image. I believe it's 84 pages, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah, so it's fucking you get your Andrew doesn't make issues often, but he gives you this is 3 or 4 issues worth of story. It's awesome. I mean, listen, we've talked about Headlopper for what 10 plus, I don't know, 10 plus years since it's come out. You know what you're getting if you've read it before. But I think to his credit, I love that he doesn't assume that people picking this up will have read his prior work. So he doesn't. He gets in and gets out. He gives you a couple page, little very effective Mignola-esque recap of the story so far. But again, it doesn't feel, as someone who has read it all, it doesn't feel repetitive. It doesn't feel laborious. He just gives you just enough if this is your first time ever picking up a Maclean comic about what you're getting into, and then we get right into the story. It pretty much picks up right where the last arc left off many years ago, which I love. It's essentially a heist issue. They're trying to collect a book of dark magic from a castle, and so there's each of the members of Norgal's crew have jobs to do to pull off the heist, and they all do their jobs. It's fantastic. I mean, I thought it was an absolute blast. I think Andrew looks as good as he's ever looked. And then they finish up the issue, little bonus bang for your buck with a reprint of the one shot that was a Kickstarter some years ago about Agatha and how she became headless and who she was before she became the headless.
That's the one thing that I wonder if there's any blowback on that, because he said that it was special to Kickstarter.
Well, it was for it's been 6 years. I mean, it's not like
that's the thing. Again, the passage of time is unknown to me. Like I said, books seem to come out on a weekly basis anymore. And,
I mean, as someone who backed the Kickstarter and bought this issue, I have I don't have any issue. I wasn't. I mean, I've read it already, so I wasn't but I was oh, that's cool. I took it as the way that you would with when Marvel and DC do the annual and these 80, 100 pagers, you're going to get some back. It's just he just threw he's all right, you know what? I'm putting out an issue. comics be expensive these days. I want to make it stand out, so I'm gonna throw in this extra content. Like I would, I took it as that, but again, I love Head Lopper. I think it's fun. I think it's his life's passion. I think that comes through on the page. I think he looks great in this.
Yeah.
And it was just a lot of fun. I mean, there's not much to say about it. It's if you've read any Headlopper before this, you will love this. I mean, there's not, I don't really need to go deep on the plot or any. There's no like, there's not like a lot of layers to what this is. This is just on the surface fun, barbarian and crew entertainment.
Yep. That doesn't look like the typical.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's Conan wrapped in a indie comics visual wrapper, which is super neat. Yeah.
Yeah. If it looked like Conan, would it be as good?
No.
Yeah, no. Chances are no.
Right.
But the fact that you're getting these two disparate universes smashed together, it works. It works really well. Yeah,
absolutely. What else we got? I see a lot of things on y'all's list. Vince, can you talk about the fucking Garbage Pail Kids book? It's been on your list for 18 weeks, bro. Like since you came back from the dead after 18 surgeries, it's been on your list ever since then. I feel like you read this in the recovery room from the OR, and you haven't talked. Can you talk about it?
Well, yeah, sure.
Or stop putting it on your list. Like
there's really not that. It's one of those books that, to say that it exists is enough for me because I'm a huge mark for Garbage Pail Kids. I always have been. I don't know what it is. The characters are, some of them are funny, some of them are just plain stupid, but the whole thing, the entirety of Garbage Pail Kids speaks to me. I don't know. I must have looked. I'm not lying. I must have stared at the cover for at least 2 hours.
Oh my gosh! Jesus Christ!
I must have, because it's the first issue, the hardcover. Again, this collects the 4-issue Garbage Pail Kids Trashin Through Time miniseries, and to get into the particulars of it would be like, I could hear people saying, "Why does he love this?" But I do. Again, to get back to the cover is a pastiche, a look into Times Square when Times Square was dangerous. And there was needles and syringes and prostitution and porn all over the place. Yes, it was a bastion for advertising, but it was not the sanitized advertising of today. It was no holds barred. They would, if cigarettes or liquor or porn or movies, like as long as you paid for it, they would advertise it. And it features a ton of Garbage Pail Kids in various instances, right? You get both of the Adams, you add a bomb, you get them all more or less, but it's like Where's Waldo type scenario where there's so much going on where you just languish, you just fall into the image, and it's just like, why can't every comic be this way? Well, Jason would read it, but Jason doesn't have to read it. It wasn't made for Jason. It was made for people like me, who thinks Joe Simcoe is like the be all and end all. I think he's amazing, and it's one of those books that I put on my list, not to get into it, because you either love the Garbage Pail Kids or you hate them. I think that's pretty fair, right?
I don't know. I mean, I love the Garbage Pail Kids. They were seminal to my childhood. So
right, but and reading this book brings me back to the time where I collected the stickers. I put them into binders. I had them all. Does that make it a good comic? No, it doesn't. But it's part of the reason these comics exist to begin with. Again, nostalgia is a very, very strong motivational force. Where the Garbage Pail Kids are founded on nostalgia, right? Where what's a great story? Yes, to me, yes, it was. To you, well, I don't know. Again, I'm glad it exists. It's the most terrible review ever, but it's the truth. I will buy multiple versions. I don't go into variant covers. I never like them, but I already own. I think the floppies. I own the hardcover. Like, how much am I going to buy this? Obviously, I'm not done because my love for them knows no bounds. It's a problem. It is.
No problem at all. It's yeah.
Yeah. But I'm not lying. At least 2 hours did I stare at the cover. Yeah. Just there you go. Garbage Pail Kids.
Love it. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Not a problem. I take it off my list now.
Very, very pleased.
Yeah.
Can I real quick mention something that I didn't love as much as I hoped I would? Because I won't spend a lot of time on it because I didn't love it.
The fact that you have to ask is
right.
No. I know because we've been pretty upbeat tonight. I love Matthew Bablé. We've talked about pretty much all of his books. Well, all of his books that have been ported here to the U.S. through Magnetic in English. And I love Singleton. We've also talked about most of his books. Also come through. Mostly have come over here through Magnetic. So when Magnetic solicited a work by Bablé and Singleton, called Shin Zero, I thought, oh, for sure. It arrived this week. It was a Kickstarter. I'm sure it was solicited after his Kickstarter. I always back
it was because I have it.
Kickstarters. Yeah. Oh, okay. Have you read it yet?
No, it's right here on the pile.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to get into the plot too much. Unfortunately, it didn't connect with me the way I'd hoped. The book is beautifully designed. Like the actual production of the book is incredible. As Magnetic is always like, when do they not make incredible looking books? Cover's beautiful. Like it's got spot varnish. It's got like rounded edges. Like, it's just a beautiful. The package itself is beautiful. I was intrigued by this because from the solicit, I thought it was going to be Bablé and Singleton's like French bande dessinée meets manga take on Super Sentai, which I know, of course, would perk Vince's ears up. I have never been a huge Super Sentai fan, but I thought that the idea of these two creators doing it would reel me right in. What's interesting is, and maybe because I buy everything magnetic solicits generally, so I don't pay too much attention to the solicits. So maybe the fault is on me for not realizing what I was getting into. But this is a story about a world where the kaiju have vanquished for decades now. But the idea of Sentai still exists, and they're essentially just a job that slackers take to make livings. And like back when the kaiju were around, the Sentai were in fact super soldiers with powers, and they fought giant monsters. But it's been watered down to now they are just average, like I said, young, like post-high school, college-age kids who are trying to scrape by and make a living, and so they dress up and play hero, and often get their asses beat and don't have powers. And you guys know how I feel about slackers.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, this is a slacker book. I didn't know that. And again, it might be shame on me. It may have been very clear in this. That's what this was, and if that's my bad. Now, what's interesting is this is the first of 3 volumes of this. And I suspect that the concept here is that, the world has been lulled into this state of calm, thinking kaiju were never coming back, and that like they're building to this idea that we're about to have mad kaiju on again. And so these Sentai that are just average kids, slackers, are going to have to figure out a way to actually fight the real Sentai. And there's some hints of that in this volume without going into spoiler-heavy stuff. And so it could like end up being super badass in total. But the first volume was very much like, oh, let's meet all the slacker kids. Sentai. And it's like, eh. Yeah. And, and the thing is, I know it's not fair to compare this to other stuff. I know everything has to stand on its own artistic merits, good or bad. But I couldn't help, as I was reading this, but to compare it to Muhina Into the Deep. And to me, while Muhina isn't about Sentai, it's very much about a world, right, where you've got these slackery kids who are kind of outlaws and renegades trying to fight the system. Now in Muhina, they're assassins, which is a little cooler, I guess, for me. But like, I just felt like, to me, I was like, oh, this is everything Muhina is, only not as cool, And so I just found myself comparing it. As I was reading it, I found myself comparing it, thinking, I'd just rather read the next volume of Muhina.
I don't blame him.
So yeah, I mean, again, and to be clear, I mean, Babelai's next Kickstarter, which I bought I actually bought the Spanish version of it when I was in Spain in November, knowing that it was going to eventually come here in English. It's already coming, so I'm still fully aboard on the Babelais train. Silent Jenny is that book. Silent Jenny will be coming out here. So and again, and Singelin's last book, Frontier, was dope. Like, so I've got no issues with these creators whatsoever. But I think this is a case of me not knowing what I was getting. This is more of a Jason doesn't like this type of story. This is not a quality effort. So.
All right. Well, we'll see. I didn't.
Well, you're more tolerant of the slacker stories than I am.
Am I?
I don't know. Yeah. Well, I don't know. They are kids, so you kind of hate kids. So.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, I purposely didn't back it because when I was reading the write up of it, the character, because I'm not a Power Rangers dude, but I'm like I like the creators, and I'm like, all right, it's something different. Let me just try it because just so that again, as we were as we talked about earlier, we don't always want to just bring the same stuff. So I was like, well, if I read, because I'm trying to read a lot more of the collections I have or the graphic novels, it's just so that I can get them off my reading list, but also so we can discuss them. But so I didn't, and also the swag really, and that's a lot of why I do back the magnetic stuff often is because of the swag that it comes with. So, but yeah, I didn't feel like backing this, and I just figured, if I see it solicited, then I'll give it a shot. and yeah, and so I ordered it when it was solicited a few months ago. Didn't realize that it was that a lot of folks were finally getting their Kickstarters like right, because I got it in not the last box, but I think the box before. So I mean, I've had it for a minute, and I also didn't realize it was. I think it's a 3-book series, but I'm like, all right, let me just. But and I'm seeing folks on the Slack, whether it's Burton, whether it's Brian, so folks are getting their copies. You obviously did, so I do want to read it. I just I'm still looking forward to it, but yeah, I mean now I'll just I'm a little bit more prepared based on what you said, but yeah, we'll see. I'll get to it, and then this way, I can get it off my plate, and then I can do my recap before it gets too far gone and forgotten about. But yeah, I'll
yeah.
And I did get the email about Silent Jenny, so that's on my radar. I'm contemplating that, but I did also see that one of the tiers includes like the carbon like it's a slipcase of like the sci-fi trilogy he's doing. I mean, you already have those.
Shangri-La and Carbon and Silicon.
Yeah. I don't have those, so I'm still hemming and hawing. We'll see, but I don't know how much more time. I don't know how many more weeks the campaign has, but
I will say. I mean, I picked up Silent Jenny, like I said, in Spain because I saw it and it's in Spanish. But having read through it in Spanish, it is worth it on the visuals alone. I was like, God damn! So like, that's going to be an absolute banger. I have no doubt. So yeah, to those who are on the fence, I would press back. I would back the shit out of that.
Sweet.
Or wait. I mean, it'll be solicited through. It'll be through the catalogs too. So that's fine. I'm saying, but make sure this is on your shelf. Silent Jenny.
Nice.
That I would say has a high degree of being O'Closkers for me. Like I would be stunned if that's not one of my 10 favorite things this year.
Damn.
We'll see. Yeah. Plant the flag, Dad.
I love it. You ready to bring us home, Vince?
Yep. If you do not want to pay retail, who does?
Who does?
For real.
Go to cheapgraphicnovels.com. Cheapgraphicnovels.com. Everything you want at the price you want to pay. Cheapgraphicnovels.com. Please leave us a review, whether it's 4 stars, 5 stars, or you have to actually type out words or a combination of all of that. Please do so because it's important. And don't forget, we have a Patreon. Patreon.com/11 o'clock comics. No apostrophe 11. 3 tiers. A buck, $5, $10. Boom. You're done. And your travels. Keep an eye peeled for a new image series called Corpse Night.
Yes.
Yeah. Corpse Night #1, written by Michael Chavez, who is, it's his first comic, and you would never be able to tell. He must have had a good editor. Illustrated by Matthew Roberts. The duo is listed as co-creators. So, as to who wrote what, and I know Matthew drew most of it, all of it. Where the line blurs is unknown to me. Rico Renzi, did the color art, and the letters are by Pat Brousseau. It takes place in 1429 France. Now, if you know your history, you know that France in that year was not the best place to be. Uh, the the country was embroiled in the Hundred Years' War. People were dying. People were going missing. And you get a young girl named Foy, Foy, who is taught by her father, who I guess was a soldier at one time. But now the war is either he's waiting or the war's waiting, where he it's a single parent. He's unfortunately dad is killed, and his sword, which was very beholden to him, is taken. Right, the girl, young Foy, gets away, and long story short, the father comes back to protect his daughter. What? Yeah, you're right. The father comes back. The killer, his initial killer, is removed. Sword reclaimed. Armor and mask of the killer are worn by dad, and it is said somewhere in the issue that Joan of Arc can help you. Normally, I would be extremely hesitant to read this because Joan d'Arc, as soon as you encounter Joan, it raises images of the holiness and benevolence and Jesus and all of the stuff that Swamp Thing is not. Where I could see this going a bunch of ways. Either Joan of Arc tells her that God is complete bullshit and can't help her, or it leads to the forming of the Knights Templar. That would be cool. Or it Joan can't do anything for the father, and he's stuck as basically a zombie knight. All that's cool to me. Whether if Joan helps or tries to help the man based on her religion, then we got problems, right? That's the only instance. I know that the carrot on a stick book kind of book turns me away, but in this instance, I feel like a lot of it is front loaded into being really doom and gloom and dire and negative and depressing, and so I'm there for it. The worst thing that could happen is Joan of Arc say, "Yeah, I'll ask God to help you," and then I'll be out because it's bullshit. But Corpse Night #1. I think it's really good. The art is great. The story was at a feverish clip. The issue was done before I knew it, and there's back matter and it's really well. It was a well done issue, which is why I'm coming back for subsequent issues.
Of course you are.
Corpse Night. Yeah.
Yeah, Roberts is good. I mean, has he done anything since Manifest Destiny?
No, I mean not that I know of.
Right. Well, I mean, maybe like one story in an anthology or
Yeah.
something here or there. But yeah, as far as an ongoing, okay, it's good to see him back.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I thought it was really well done.
Love it.
Is it great? No, it's not great.
You enjoyed
It's
it?
good. Yeah, I did enjoy it a lot.
Nice.
We'll see where it goes.
In your travels, I decided to give this a shot because it's been a minute since. I don't have the 2-volume omnibus yet, but it's been a minute since I read Nightwing. So, figured let me jump on this because it's a new arc. Not only because it's written by Dan Waters, but because it's penciled by Dennis Cowan, inks by Norm Rapman, colors by Francesco Segala. So it's a new arc, and it's called it's Bloodhaven Lore is the arc. The first part, issue 136, is titled Crossroads, and apparently the new mayor has decided to, according to Nightwing, resculpt Bloodhaven in his own image, and there's a superhighway built through the heart of Bloodhaven, and there's one evening, Nightwing's driving on the highway, but people have been there've been rumors circulating of disappearances, strange sightings, things maybe where they shouldn't be. And there seems to be this woman, disheveled looking, hair super long, raggedy coat, and what appears to be a dress. It might not be a dress. Maybe it's a hospital gown. But Nightwing ends up picking her up, and he notices that she's got marks on her arm. She's they're kind of stuck in traffic, but before he can get kind of like too much out of her, she pulls out a really it looks like a warped piece of sheet metal with like a makeshift handle. It's a blade, and she's got it at Nightwing's throat. And him being a detective, he's trying to get to the bottom of things, at least raised by a detective. And she's talking about how there were she basically is condemning all the men of Bloodhaven because they were women like her were set up with sham trials and then hanged and left at like unmarked grave sites and just left to be forgotten, more or less. And Dick, trying to be helpful, he's like, all right, well, let's get you to the hospital, because all of a sudden she starts bleeding from her eyes, and she's obviously not well. And he's realizing that she was probably taken from home. Looks like she may have been institutionalized, and now that she's out, she's trying to find her home. Home obviously is gone, because now the fucking superhighway and this bridge and everything else is where she used to live. So she's been wandering the highway, not able to get home. And so Dick's like, all right, well, let's get you to the hospital. And as he's about to turn off the road, she pulls the steering wheel back and ends up causing an accident. 9 people died in this accident. Nightwing escapes the car. He rescues a few people, saves some lives where he can, But yes, it was an absolute mess. The woman is nowhere to be found. And so the next issue, you get a lot of you'll hear news reports and how could Nightwing, he just leaves people there, and how did he not, how did he not try to do more, and this, that, and the other. Vince, do you know who the commissioner of Bloodhaven is?
No.
You love her. It's Maggie Sawyer.
Wasn't she mayor at one time?
Of Bloodhaven? I don't know. But
yeah, I like Maggie.
I know. She's a better commissioner than Vandal Savage. But you have in the second chapter called The Bridge, nobody can get onto or leave the bridge. There are snipers on either end. And again, this all ties into some history with Bloodhaven, and so Batman is on the Gotham side of the bridge trying to scope things out. Nightwing is, of course, on the Bloodhaven side. Nightwing doesn't really want Batman's help here. He's like, listen, I got it under control, but again, Batman's going to Batman. But Dick is able to negotiate, and the sniper on the Bloodhaven side, he's able to talk down, and again, there's a whole, not necessarily a mystery, but there are absolute, everything is happening for a reason. The actions have consequences. There is, it's not just, it's not all mystical and magical. There are forces here, human forces that are manipulating things, and Nightwing is able to solve this particular mystery, and they're kind of done in one story, is being told over, I guess, a larger arc, but there's a reason why these people were holding the passengers on the bridge hostage. The day is saved, and Nightwing is asking Batman why the hell you're here, and he says, listen, I've heard about, I know about the car crash. There's a ritual murder to protect the architecture, which is what was going on with the bridge here, which is just insane. But yeah, the bridge, the superhighway is not good, and I guess people are acting up because of it. But yeah, we get some drama between Batman and Nightwing. But yeah, so now between the woman who was the Witch of Bloodhaven that was in Nightwing's car, and now you have the reason why this bridge was under siege. He's got some things to piece together. But yeah, it's shaping up to be quite an interesting arc. Of course, I love the artwork. And Waters is telling a bit of a creepy tale, which Dan Waters can do. So yeah, I'm digging it. I'm looking forward to seeing more Maggie Sawyer, hopefully, as this arc continues. But yeah, in your travels, Nightwing from DC Comics.
Nice. So I don't know if you guys know this, but I have a soft spot in my heart for an 80s concept. It's called G.I. Joe.
The hell you say?
Yeah, it's a deep cut, but I'm into it. And I've also been having fun lately with the absurdity of comic names these days. Like, the fucking titles have just gotten out of hand. So with that, I bring you G.I. Joe, a real American hero, silent with 3 S's like a snake.
Silent.
Missions, and then insert name of the one shot. There were 5 of them. And these are the second go around for Image Skybound of doing silent one-shots of the G.I. Joe universe, this time obviously based on the silent. This is Cobra-centric. The first round were G.I. Joe-centric. And I'm here for those. I think they're fun. It's a chance for illustrators to strut their stuff, right? Because there's no dialogue. But like with anything, it's a mixed bag. So they solicited 5. We've not gotten all 5. I would say 3 are completely skippable. Again, respectfully. But the Zartan one was written by Tom DeFalco with art by Pat Oliff. Respectfully, it's an easy pass. Next one was written by Declan Shalvey, art by Joel Jones. Art's great. Respectfully, story, easy pass. Next one was Copperhead #1. Personal. I always love the action figure. Written and drawn by Howard Porter, which is interesting, but fucking absolutely maniacally like makes the issue makes no sense. so respect to Howard for doing his thing, but nah, it's past. Finally though, there are 2 worth your attention. The first one is Crimson Guard #1, written and drawn by longtime friend of the show, blast from the past, Mr. Gabriel Hardman. You guys know Gabriel doesn't fuck around. If he's going to draw something, it's going to look great. And this is basically a day in the life of a newly minted Crimson Guardsman who's having a very, very bad day. Like just like a pratfall after pratfall, Peter Sellers-esque, like what a fucking day this guy's having. And that's, we all know Gabriel and his general demeanor about life, and it's so fitting. I just think like, okay, this is Gabriel working out some of his ennui inside the universe of Cobra. But the one I'm here to really talk about, the one that makes my heart sing, that brings me joy, that makes me glad that I still read fucking funny books after all these years, is G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, Silent Missions, Firefly #1, Vince. Fucking Firefly.
Bad. Yes,
Cobra's Saboteur, written and drawn by Mr. Jorge Fornes. Now, I have read many comics drawn by Mr. Fornes. I have never, to my knowledge, read a comic written by Jorge. Now, again, it's a silent issue, so, I mean, there's no dialogue. He's just basically structuring the story that he's going to draw himself. But goddamn, did this bring me all kinds of happiness. So, as you guys know, I have always loved the character of Firefly. That is purely based on the fact that as a kid, I thought his costume was awesome, and the idea of being a saboteur was awesome. But if I'm being objective, having watched every episode of the cartoons that have ever existed, watched the movie, and of course read a good chunk of all the comics, generally speaking, most characters in G.I. Joe do not actively display their skill, right? Like, they're basically infantrymen on both sides. Like, most of the time you see Firefly, he's alongside a bunch of other badass looking Cobra characters all firing guns at G.I. Joe. Like, he's not being a saboteur, like, very rarely. So I love that Fornes went back to what this dude is about, and the issue is Firefly infiltrating a base and fucking taking out everybody like a saboteur should, and then setting a trap, and then stealing intel, and then blowing the place up. And like, that's what a saboteur would do. Like, when my 10-year-old mind saw the action figure on the pegboard and thought, oh my god, a saboteur, like, this is what he should be doing. Badass, covert, deadly operations and causing mayhem. And that's what this story is about. And Fornes is on his game artistically. Every page looks incredible, but he does a thing where it's almost like one of those maze pastiches like we saw in like Sabretooth Swordsman, or where it's the double page spread is drawn like a maze through the confines of the building, and Firefly is going through. You see him going through each room and doorway and AC vent and taking out different targets. I just thought everything about this, the look, the feel, the pace, the story, it made sense. It was well executed. It was true to character in a way that I don't think I've ever seen before in comics for this character. It's just, I felt like he made this book for me. So thank you, Jorge. Thank you for making this book for me. Yes, I have already reached out to him and asked him if he wants to sell me pages. I still haven't heard back. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But this was an absolute delight for 10-year-old Woodrow. So thank you. So in your travels, check out G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, Silent Missions, Crimson Guard #1, and Firefly
I think I checked out Crimson Guard when we got the previews from Skybound, but you are correct on the Firefly. He's always been one of my faves because of his look.
Yeah, absolutely. The look is great. It's insane.
He was the one figure that would always come up pretty much on top whenever I'd be playing with him. But you're not wrong about the one shot. Between going through the ducks, it's Vince. It's almost. It's not Family Circus where Billy you're following the line, but you do get to see Firefly making his way through on some of these pages, and it's awesome watching him doing the whole follow through as he's making his way through the building. But it looks great. I'm reminded, of course, of the Rorschach mini from a few years ago that Tom wrote, and a lot of it is just Firefly being Firefly, and it's a lot of fun. It's a solid issue. It's probably one of my favorites from the whole Silent Mission concept from both Joe and Cobra.
Love it.
Nice. Fucking Billy. Do yourself a favor and say goodnight. David.
Good night. David.
Amazing. We love you so much.
Come back next.
Yeah, come back next time. There's more of this. A lot more.
All day, every day.
Oh, yeah.
We have no friends. Yeah.
Well, speak for yourself, but...
Right?
I got mad friends. Life is blessed.
Okay.
I got a Slack full of friends.
Right?
That's it for that one.